some domination, some not so good, some so good. The second round was crazy. I mean, what do you want? We had one of my favorite teams, if not my favorite team in the playoffs right now, just bounced out. Them boys from Memphis, the Grizzlies. I really feel that they got away from what they were, well, what was making them win in the first place, dominating in the paint. They really tried to tailor towards this. Let's outshoot the shooters, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. I mean, I really love this team, what they did. I mean, they fought well, but just underplayed their strategy and got away from what worked all year, I believe. Even with John Morant, I love him as a player, but I feel he was really trying to play hero ball. I mean, kind of can't come out shining and really forgot about his team. You can see if you look at the tape where, other people are just kind of standing around as he's doing his thing. So you just got to keep in mind what got you to where you get. You need to keep your teammates involved, and it is nice to shine. Of course, you're trying to make your money and be known. But don't forget what got you there. Teammates, man. Keep balling with your team. Keep your team strong. But I love that team, and I mean, especially, in particular, I'm referring to Jaren Jackson Jr. and Dylan Brooks said after in the interviews where I could just completely relate. It reminds me of my friends and I, just what he said. I can't wait to hit this summer running with my dogs. I was like, hell yeah, man! That statement right there, powerful statement. I feel that to the fullest. I can't wait to hit this summer running with my dogs. Hell yeah! You know what I'm saying? That's wild. Like I could just respect that. That's a powerful statement. And like Jaren Jackson Jr. says, we really be rocking with each other. And that's another just chemistry and teammate. Like for those that may not understand, when you're really saying I rock with you, like that's my dog. Like they're really friends. They really be hanging out, so it's like it brings a whole other level of chemistry and just team building, camaraderie, with all those important concepts that you really need to establish in a strong organization. So there's that. I definitely wanted to emphasize that for sure. So on the other hand, again, Embiid, you can see here Golden State takes it, and they're chilling, waiting for their next opponent, either Phoenix or Dallas. The series is tied up 3-3. What more could you ask for? Headed down to the wire in this level of competition. But let's just hold up, man. Like the previous game before Golden State just won this, like Memphis straight gave them a spanking, pure T spanking on the Warriors. It was unbelievable. Like what in the world? I guess they were like, forget it, we'll just close on our floor. But I'm talking 55, bro. That's a 2K wallop. Like 55 points. Like it just goes to show you like the things that I talk about. That's the volatility of a 3-point shot, man. You can't be just hoping and banging on the three that it's just gonna fall. But when it never does, like what are you gonna do? What happens when the shots don't fall, man? And that's exactly a 55-point wallop. It's crazy. And again, you see the ball movement. You see them giving goes, utilizing cuts, attacking the basket, like getting into the paint, into the teeth of the defense. Like these are solid basketball fundamentals that you need to utilize, especially at this level of play. I mean, you can't put your money on the perimeter play, man. It's just too volatile. It's inconsistent. It's a low percentage shot. I mean, I still be freaking out when you avoid 2 points. What if you lose by 1 point? You know what I'm saying? And your stupid ass going out there pulling up to the three for what? You're down by 1. You wanna go pull a 3? Like that's just stupidity, dude. That's just bad basketball, man. It's just low IQ. Like okay, we got 30, and on the other hand, you got a minute, you're down by 10, and you quit and give the game up. Like what the what is going on in today's game, man? Like that just goes to show you, man. There's utterly something wrong. It just come on, man. A minute is a long time, and anybody should know that. A real basketball player should know that. That's a long time. With clock management and strategy, like that's just a huge breakdown of time. A minute isn't as quick as you would think in these type of situations. So when I see it, just goes to show me that there's either something manipulative going on or something really just out of character when you see teams just kind of throwing the white flag with 2 minutes, 1 minute left. Like that's just poor sportsmanship, man. Like come on, man. But anyway, so we still got on the East Coast. So in the West we got the Warriors chilling, waiting. Now could it be an old school matchup? Heat versus the Warriors? I don't know, because they definitely bounced out Philly. And again, I mean, I thought that Harden and you hear a lot of the media talking trash, man. Like I just think Harden is an amazing player. Like I never was too like he wasn't never my favorite player, but you gotta respect MVP range from for days, gets to the basket like no other, man. I mean, he puts the defense to sleep, lulls them with that, and then just pulls up. it's wild, man. So Harden is an amazing player, and people still talking shit. Like, what the hell you talking about? Look at his numbers, dog. Like, he was leading the NBA in assists too. Like, I mean, what are y'all talking about? Averaging triple doubles, like double doubles. Like, come on, man. They always have something stupid to say, something uninformed and unsupportive to say. Like, I just can't follow, man. Like, no, you're stupid. You're talking stupid. Like, no. Come a little bit correct and come informed and support your statements with some kind of a fact. I mean, some bare bones minimum facts even. Like anyway, so I was really sad to see what happened with Philly, because I mean Joel Embiid did not get the MVP, which I mean he could be deserving. It was a tight race. Even Giannis, I mean, again another player that is under close scrutiny because he's been at the mountaintop and just achieved such levels of greatness, man. Like I would consider Giannis the best basketball player on the planet right now. Like he's just an imposing force, an impeccable athlete, dude. Like athleticism is really, I mean, skill and athleticism. And people are like, oh, well, he doesn't got a jump shot. Yes, he does. Now, is he shooting it as 90%? No, but it's consistent and it's effective. Look at the other shooters. Like people just have opinionated biasness towards like whatever for whatever reason, but we won't discuss that any further. But basically, Joel Embiid is a warrior, playing with all kind of stuff, man. Like messed up, like a bum hand, a messed up knee. My dude got straight cold cock in the face, elbowed by his dude Pascal Siakam, elbowed UFC, broke his face. Now, I know most of y'all might be like, oh yeah, man, he's weak if you don't. Bitch, please. Like, you're trying to tell me you're going to go out there and play with a broken face? Let's see it. Let me go ahead and elbow you in the face and break your face. And let's see if you go out there and just walk around outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do anything. Just do anything. Like, come on, man. Let's be real now. I just don't see it. But anyway, this dude was out there balling on the highest level imaginable with a broken hand, or torn ligament in his thumb, or whatever the case may be. Knees messed up, constantly getting slayed and hacked. No fouls called. I mean, come on, man. Come on. And a broke face. Like, dude, that's crazy. So, I salute you, Joel Embiid. You that dude. I love what you do. Skills for days. I mean, this man got the Akeem Olajuwon footwork with the freaking J from all over town, wherever you want it, man. He be throwing it up. That thing's gonna go in. More than likely, it's going in. But hats off to what the Heat were doing. I was surprised to see. Like again, I try to stay away from it a little bit. I try to like know and void myself to all the politics I see. It just takes a level basketball mind to be objective and look back, and you can see the funny stuff that's going on with some of the house rules that you can call, I guess, like home court advantage, which is a lot of the reason why people didn't like the bubble, because it did leave a little bit more objective state to things. You know, like no home court advantage and a neutral ground, which kind of levels the playing field a little bit more. But you can there's of course there's always some type of things being skewed, but basically Miami, man, it was just too much, man. You can just see it, like with a lot of these foul calls. I highlighted it on one of my previous videos where you see when they were playing the Hawks. I just stopped watching, man, because you can see clearly, like, any of these little fouls, somebody barely gets touched in the face, you know, they stop the clock, they review it, they look at you know, the video, slow motion, put it up there. But when Tyler Hero, right, just because he was about to get his award this year, they didn't want to taint his image or whatever. Is basically what I feel it came down to, man. Because this was right before, but he literally turns around and hits Trae Young in the face as hard as possible, dude. As hard as possible. Literally just turns around, looks at him, winds up. Clearly there's a wind up, and hits him right in the face, dude. And nothing was called. No foul, no flagrant, nothing. Like, dude, so it's crazy, man. Stuff like that. So I just had to stop watching that. See, I already knew what was going on. When I saw that was going on, I had a feeling I knew exactly where this was leading to. But, you know, hats off to the Heat for doing what they do and holding their, you know, they kind of got that basketball influence, holding the multiple championships. So here we can see two old dynasties trying to make their way back out the mud and polish up their image, so to say, and make one last run for greatness to get back to the mountaintop. So, you know, there is that possibility, but we do have some new blood brewing. So we have here the Phoenix Suns, which have been, I mean, as bright as the sun right now, man, blazing hot right now. So, but again, same kind of thing. I just couldn't watch this series as much. It's some great basketball, but it was just a freaking flop fest for me, man. Phoenix versus Dallas, oh Lord, it's a freaking acting flop fest at times, man. And I just can't, bro. Let's ball. Let's play some basketball. We ain't out here to win no Oscars. You know what I mean? If you want politics, go to the boardroom. Something, bro. Do something. But if you're trying to ball, man, let's ball. And I just feel like that's where I feel Chris Paul, man. That's where I just can't respect him as a player, man. It's too much of that. And Luka, he was on that same tip, man. So I think a lot of these superstars, they get to the point where, like, oh, I feel I'm a superstar now, so I'm entitled to get every. If you brush up against my hair, it's a foul. If you think about, you know, me in the wrong way and I trip and fall on a Tuesday while you're sitting there eating raw, just something crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Just something crazy. It's a foul. So I just can't. It just gets excessive. I try to look past all that and submerge myself back into the series with an open mind, and I did find some amazing basketball. Again, Jalen Brunson. My two favorite players out of these series would be Jalen Brunson and Devin Booker. I mean, straight ballers. Devin Booker is a beast. You can book it. He's good for it. He's got you. He really needs to take that over. I mean, Chris Paul is a great player, man. There's no denying that. But they really need to just they just need to let Devin Booker. I mean, Chris Paul is getting older. I know he doesn't always look at it at times, but you know, when you get older, man. I mean, I'm older. You feel it. You play something, and you got to get that rest in, dog. You gotta let that body heal up, man. Them bones just don't absorb impact like they used to, bro. But anyway, man, great player. You know, he's put in his work, so I always give him that. I mean, they're NBA players for a reason. They're on a whole other level of athleticism than anybody could possibly fathom. The work that they put into their bodies and skill set is always, you know, the highest level of excellence. So I always have my respect in that aspect to all players that make it to that level, of course. So again, this is a very dynamic team. Like the way that I look at it, East versus West, very dynamic in the West. A lot of ball movement, more perimeter oriented. Kind of like really more a lot of weaving around the perimeter, which I just can't. It's just a little too excessive at times. You need some more inlet outlet passes, some paint penetration, a little bit of post up utilization, especially when you got the mismatches, man. It's crazy that you just see these things strategy wise that could be, exploited, but either team for whatever reason chooses not to do it. I mean, it's crazy. You can get 10 extra points. I'm safe to say, it's safe to say for me that each team could get, like, for example, Phoenix. They can get at least 10 extra points just feeding Ayton in the post over and over if they wanted to, but they don't do it. Even here, Dallas, if you let Boban play, this is crazy. This might sound wild. Let Boban. You got one of the biggest dudes in the NBA. I always say it, man. He's good for it. Just throw it. Just let him get in there, post up, let him get it in the paint, give him some touches. He can get you at least 5 to 10 extra points, man. You know it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But they're like, nah, we don't want to do that. We just want to keep breaking threes all day because it looks good for whatever reason. No, it doesn't, bro. It doesn't. It doesn't look good at all to get down by 20, 30, 50 plus. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, here in the East, I feel it's more of a weight room, smash mouth, overtly physical play that we've been seeing here in the East, man. I mean, I'm not saying it's not physical in the West. Of course it is. I would just say it's more skill versus power, which is, lightly putting it. There's a lot more that goes into it, of course. But from my perspective, I see the East being more a powerhouse of strength. Like, I mean, come on, just look at the players. I mean, in their size and mass in general, just strength. Like, for example, look at what's a player comparison that would kind of suit. Because even here, like this series, right? Like, come on, guys, this is some amazing we got game 6s now. We're coming down to the wire. We got game 7s here, so it couldn't get any better than this. I mean, this is as far as we can take it into the series before getting to the championship, man. So out of a 7-game series, both of these teams are so closely tied. I would have never seen this outcome coming, really. But this series right here, Milwaukee versus Boston, I give my respects to. I'm really glad Marcus Smart got that Defensive Player of the Year, man, because I think he just has not gotten enough credit, especially playing with some prima donnas like Brown and Tatum, man, which are both great players, man. But you can, come on, man. I've been calling it out for a while. I'm glad that he did as a teammate, because I'm sure it's got to feel bad for him. He's like, yo, man, I ain't trying to sell tickets to your game, bro. I'm out here on the court, man. Pass that shit. And I just say that's just how you would tell your teammate. That's how I would tell my teammate, man. Like, I ain't out here selling tickets, bro. Pass that shit. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. I don't know how else to say it. Because, I mean, I'm sure they had a similar conversation, and it really, I mean, everybody knew it, man. People were talking on the media about, do they work together? Well, yeah, they can work together if they pass the ball, man. Any team can work if you pass the rock, man. The ball doesn't need to stick. And what do people mean by that? Like, okay, well, when it goes to Tatum, that ball ain't going anywhere else. Like, he's dribbling that thing all the way down to the shot clock, and you better pay attention when there's like 5 seconds, because if he can't make the play, then maybe with 5 seconds left on the clock, he might pass it to you at an inopportune time because he couldn't get the shot off. That's crazy. So it's just bad basketball, man. That isolation-heavy basketball just throws game plans out the window and strategy out the window completely, unless that's your game plan. Okay, isolation, everybody stand around, which completely is not solid basketball. Obviously, it might work on the street, but that's a whole other story, man. And it doesn't even work then. You ain't scoring 100 points on the street plus. But anyway, and you're probably playing half court. But anyway, I'm not saying everybody does, but just generalizations here. But this series has been, I mean, crazy. Again, my hat goes off to what Boston has been able to do. Tatum is an incredible scorer. He was lacking on the defensive end. Same with Jaylen Brown, too. I mean, they were both known dominantly for their scoring, but they have turned that team completely around to a solid. I mean, even before getting called out with Brooklyn, talking about, they got Al Horford on there, and Horford, they were talking trash to Al Horford and Theis, talking about, they could dominate them. But Horford responded, man, and just had a game of the century for his career, bro. It was tight. Horford's been balling, hitting from the threes. They got this outstanding dunk that he hit on Giannis. Wild. Al Horford's out there balling, man. If you watch what these guys are doing, it's straight balling. So this series is down to the wire again. East and West Coast are down to the wire. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out victorious. Because I mean, I had it on the champs, but I just see them doing stupid things, man. Like, it, I wonder. It's hard to tell what the problem is, but it to me it's always simple. It just seems that they stray away from the game plan. They start bricking threes, and in a matter of time, if you go down and you brick 3 threes, you can be down by 10 points, close to essentially. So you just gotta put points on the board, man. It's a game of attrition. It's a game of nominal differences, slight increases and decreases. If you don't get down and put points on the board, you're gonna find yourself in a hole quick. So even if you shoot a three, you better, in my opinion, you better come right back and put 2 points on that board, man. Get to the line, try to stop the clock, get you a foul. But they just don't do it, man. They're like, oh no, let's shoot the three and get up by 1 instead. Well, damn, you just shot the three, bricked, and now you're down again, and now you're down by 6, and now you're down by 8, and it's crazy, bro. It gets out of hand, man. I'm watching these games and I just literally scream at the TV or scream to myself like every time, like, oh my god, another brick 3. Oh my god, another brick 3. But then finally, oh, but it went in this time. Yeah, like 5-6 attempts later, bro. Like, these volume shooters, man, that's just ineffective play. That's what you're saying. Like, even when I was playing like 2K with kids, like, oh, you gotta put that volume shooter on. Nah, bro, do you understand what that means? That means you need a lot of shots, and you're not gonna shoot. You're not gonna make a lot of them. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So they say, well, the percentage is played. No, you don't understand what you're talking about, bro. That means you got hella misses, is what it means. Volume shooter. Inconsistent. So I just can't. And everybody's standing around watching you brick all day. But anyway, man, so we got now Miami Heat chilling, waiting into the semi-conference finals. Well, the conference finals now, I'm saying. And we got the Golden State Warriors. We are in the road to the championship, the NBA Finals 2022. You can see here from NBA.com. We got the bracket pulled up where you always get your official criticism and review from. Head up to NBA.com, man. Get it from the source. So we got one last game tomorrow night between the Suns and the Mavs and the Bucks and the Celtics. So again, I really don't want to make, like, I still, out of all these teams, I like what Golden State is doing, but they're just too up and down for me, man. Like, too drastic. They've really been seeming inconsistent. I think Milwaukee. Honestly, I still favor Milwaukee to win it. We have to see if they're going to be able to surpass Boston first, because I'm sure they got something to say about it. Most definitely, and they got the advantage here in this series. But I still like the champs. I still support Giannis and what he's doing. And my dude let's just talk about Giannis for a moment, bro. Straight Superman, straight beast. My dude got knocked. He was sitting there bleeding, eye cut open, gouged out almost, man. Just blood just gushing, dripping down his eye. They ain't even get him out yet. They ain't do nothing. They just they just wanted to get the shot of him bleeding from the eye, bro. And damn, Giannis is a beast, bro. He scored 40 points in that loss too, and Tatum had 47, I believe, 46. What was it? I have to look it back up. That was a crazy game, but my dude was bleeding, bro. Straight bleeding. It's wild to me, man. It's wild the amount of punishment this dude is taking. Everybody, like, when you're that strong and dominant, man, people just think, oh, well, it's not a foul because he's so strong. Like, that's crazy. Hell nah, man. It's a foul, man. Like, I'll be watching these games. I'm like, dude, where the fouls at? Like, y'all be talking about. It's getting crazy, man. It's getting out of hand. But I still like the whole squad. I like what Grayson Allen brings to the table to that new team out there. I think they should go deeper into the rotation. I feel like their coaching gets a little bit. I still think I stand by my theory that it's stupid to tighten up your roster in the end. You're gonna have more mistakes. You need fresh legs. You need to trust your whole team. Let everybody contribute. I mean, everybody got you there. You know, keep the whole squad involved. Um, it allows your teammate to get out the game and get a fresh perspective of what's going on. Um, and of course, you know, you're conserving their efforts and their endurance, man, and making better use of their stamina, I believe, to get them more in effective spurts. Um, you know, other people may say, oh, well, they're cold. Yeah, but if you're in there for the whole freaking game, you obviously can see the exhaustion on the field when it's there. It's evident. But that's just my take. So I really got the Bucks. Bobby Portis, man, holding it down. Brooke Lopez. I mean, I really think they just need to play that down low in the paint game, man. Like the two big men down low, you know, passing back and forth, more give and go, get the cuts in there. Cause, oh, and let me just highlight the spotlight for a moment on the hell of amazing play by Holiday, man. Drew Holiday came in, snatched that thing out the sky on Smart, and then took it to the streets, man. Like where you're falling out of bounds, you look around, you say, "Oh, there's my bitch right there." Bam! Hit him in the chest with the ball to get the ball back, dude. It was crazy, crazy. Great play. Had the presence of mind to stay in bounds, to not knock the ball out of bounds, you know, but to retain it, and then to secure the possession. That's winning basketball. I mean, just Drew coming up clutch and then getting the steal too to seal the deal. So, I mean, he's a vital factor to what that team does too, and he's just a solid team player, man. So, of course, I mean, Connaughton too, man. Let me not. Connaughton is a baller, man. If you just watched it, he made this crazy layups, like a reverse layup that just got me off my seat, man. Just the way that he attacks the basket and just makes solid plays. He always finds himself in the right place at the right times, secures numerous rebounds for his team. Just a very effective player overall. I really like what he brings to the table too, man. And I think a lot of people don't. He may be outshined by some of the other stars on the team, but Pat Connaughton, man, if you don't know who that is, a great basketball player, man, a great teammate, and just brings so much to the table for that team night in and night out. So I think again, I'm sticking with the Bucks. I think I think they're the champs. I still take them to beat Miami overall. I just don't feel too confident in what Miami does. Now they've obviously their position would state otherwise, the number one seed. I just see some holes there that I don't see being filled, but of course I may be wrong. That's just my perspective on that. But Jimmy Butler has been a solid leader of that team. I really like what Jimmy Butler does for that squad. He just comes in, gets straight down to business. He's definitely shined more in a leadership role. Of course, they have a huge depth on that squad, and a lot of different factors that play into what they do. I mean, they have that whole team mentality, which is part of their Heat culture, as everybody always states. But you can really see it the way that they play. They do include all teammates, and they do have an increased depth roster utilization. So I do commend them for what they do there in MIA for sure. It should be a great series otherwise. I mean, I just think this has been the most competitive, and it shows here, 3-3 game of the series. You just really can feel it, the intensity there. But like I said, I mean, I'm not down in what Tatum and Brown and even Horford now and what they've been doing there, and Smart, what they've been doing, and the whole Boston organization, how they turned that team around, because it was definitely not on this trajectory into second. I did not see them securing the number 2 seed whatsoever. So that definitely caught me off guard, because they were way deep in the struggles. But here again, back over to the West. I don't know. I don't really favor either one of these teams. To be quite honest, I feel the Suns obviously they're the number one seed, so it would be nice to kind of see number one versus number one, based on record. Uh, but I think the Milwaukee definitely still have that sense of entitlement to defend the crown and the chip. And Dallas has been playing surprisingly well in my opinion. So let's just find out what happens. But I still kind of believe Phoenix can overcome this last obstacle to make it back to the Western Conference Finals. So we'll see what happens from there. But we got some games coming up here. I just wanted to kind of show the breakdown here, where you can see this series was really tight. One game, 117 to 116, 101 to 106, 112 to 142. That's where it got out of hand. Like that's this crazy 30-point swing. That's wild right there. And then again, 3-point game, 98 to 101, 95 to 134. That was the straight wallop I was talking about. Man, they got down by 55 points. That was unbelievable. And then again here, this game at the end just got completely out of hand down the stretch. It was a close game all throughout until the fourth quarter, and then it just really fell apart. It was something to see for sure. Just a quick look here into MIA versus Philly, the 1 versus the 4 seed. You can see these games weren't as close. 92 to 106, 103 to 119. At this point, I thought, wow, the pure dominance of the Heat. But definitely Philly responded back in this one game by 20 points, 20-point lead. And then again here, 116 to 108. And then again, see this is the inconsistency that I'm talking about. Look at these swings, 85 to 120. Like what the hell's going on, bro? Like that's crazy. And then 99 to 90, which it wasn't even this close either, man. It came down to the end. But you can see here, definitely the series leader was you see James Harden, and they still talking trash just because he didn't get 20, he didn't average 20 points. Like what the hell are you talking about, bro? These are amazing numbers for any point guard, man. Any point guard, 18.2, 6.3, 7.0. Like, what the hell do you want from me, bro? Like, well, we need to see like 30. Well, yeah, but dude, it means he's getting his teammates involved. He's still contributing a massive amount of effort and all over the basketball court, man. But here, just Jimmy Butler, like I was stated previously, outshined them. 27.5 points per game. That's crazy. That's crazy. But you can see here these similar numbers here in rebounds and assists. So it's like the people just value scoring more, and they just especially the media, they just spin this whole debacle of, well, if you're scoring more, it makes you a better player. But if you know basketball and you actually play, or you actually are involved, or you actually understand the game, you know it's not always the case. You could score 40 points, but you lose. What good did that do your team? Well, he scored more, right? Does that make him a better player? No. And I would say, hell no. It doesn't make him a better player. It makes him a worse player because he scored more points, but it made his team lose. So it's your trade-off of what's important to you. Do you value scoring over winning the game? Do you value scoring over keeping your hopes alive to make a long stretch into the playoffs? I mean, you got to be reasonable here. What it just depends on what your goals actually are. So if your goal was to go out there, this is your only time in the playoffs, you wanted to shine and you wanted to get as many points as possible and make a name for yourself, you didn't give a damn whether your team won at all. As long as you got your points and you secured the bag, then hey, I mean, more power to you. That's your goal, right? You accomplished your personal goal. But that's why, they state here in the Heat culture where their individual goals need to be aligned to the organizational goal, which is effective basketball to get to the championship and to secure a championship. So it just goes to show you the scope of focus and determination and motivation and all these factors that play into what you hope to achieve, and what your definition of success is. So again, here I think that's where Philadelphia's concerns really lie, because everybody wants to win the championship, but not everybody is doing what's necessary to solidify that outcome. And the Heat have done an excellent job of demonstrating that. And like I said, they put trust in their whole team, which really increases your chances and empowers your team to feel um, that that's the case. So you see they list here, shut down D. Dang. Dang. But yeah, you can see that previous teammates, Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler. Of course, there's that previous relationship. So still brothers, holding it down, showing love and respect. The masked man. But so I mean, you can't deny what the Heat are doing. Straight balling, for sure. Um, I just don't see them. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like them. I don't know. I can't really say I don't like them because they're a great basketball team. But I just favor the Bucks. And really enjoy watching. I guess it's really I really enjoy watching Antetokounmpo play, and just seeing him beat the critics. I mean, he's an amazing personality and just an incredible basketball player. He just has that level of physicality that nobody has, obviously. Nobody. Not even Embiid, as big and strong as he is, man. Even Embiid, he's bigger than Giannis, man. And still, he's unable to do what Giannis can do, man. So it's just an amazing human being. And he's hilarious, man. Let's face it. I think he's hilarious, dude. He's always got that smile on his face, except for when it gets time down to get down with the get down. But let's find out, man. NBA Finals 2022 coming up, man. We got the Western Conference Finals. The Warriors waiting. The Heat keeping their eyes on the prize. Who's going to challenge them? Is it going to be the new young blood coming up from the Celtics? Or the champs back for vengeance? Again here. Are we going to have some more young blood coming up with Luka, Brunson, Dinwiddie, Finney Smith, all them boys down in Dallas, the Maverick Gunslingers? Or is Phoenix going to secure another shot at redemption? Another chance to knock back for the title? Guess we'll find out. Thanks for watching. Keep it locked. We'll see you next time. Later.